Windows 10 is the most popular desktop operating system on the planet. I can almost guarantee that every single one of you watching this has used it at least once since it came out. And in using it, you might have found a couple keyboard shortcuts like Control A to select everything, Control XCV for cut, copy, paste respectively, Alt Tab to switch through windows. Most of those are pretty well known. However, today I'm bringing you 8 keyboard shortcuts for Windows 10 that you probably didn't know about. You definitely should be using. Now all of these commands stem from the Windows key, the start menu key, this little guy right here. What most people don't realize is it's the catalyst for a ton of powerful keyboard shortcuts. First one we're going to look at today is the power menu, and you can access this by Windows plus X. And what this will do is it'll bring up the power menu, and it will give you all kinds of different system things that you won't find immediately in settings, like device manager, network connections, disk management, computer management, PowerShell, task manager. You can open settings, change your power options, a bunch of other things that 9 of 10 times you're not going to really know how to get to. Second on the list is Windows plus T, and what this will do is it'll allow you to cycle through your taskbar. So what it will do is it'll highlight the first icon on your taskbar, and if you keep pressing T, it'll go through each next option. So in my case it's Chrome, then File Explorer, then Microsoft Store, and so on. If you press Windows Shift and T, it'll go back. You can cycle backwards, so if you miss one and you want to go back, just hold Shift and Windows and then press T and you can go back. This is kind of like an Alt Tab for the items in your taskbar. Number 3 on the list is Windows plus M. And what this will do is it will minimize everything. I know I'm not the only one that ends up with a desktop that looks like this, full of clutter, full of a bunch of windows. When I'm getting into like really working on something, I have usually a minimum of 7 or 8 things open. You hit Windows plus M and it all goes away. All goes down to the taskbar. You can open them all individually again. They're still there, they're just minimized. But if you need to get at a file on your desktop, you don't want to go through and hunt down the minimize button for each and every single window. This will do it for all of them. Next on the list is Windows plus L, and this will lock your system. So what it will do is you'll press Windows plus L. It'll bring you back to the sign-in page where you have to put in your password or your face if you have Windows Hello, passcode, whatever you have to sign in again. So this is great if you don't want to wait for your system to time out before you have to leave. Say you have pesky relatives or pesky friends. You can press Windows plus L and it will lock your system, and you can guarantee that they can't get into it unless they know your credentials. All right, halfway done. Next one is about screenshots. Now the running thing for, God, the longest time, I remember this being a thing since like Windows XP was cool. If you want to take a screenshot, you hit print screen, you open Paint, you paste it into Paint, and then you save the document. That's probably how most people take screenshots. I know that's how I was told to take screenshots in my computer tech class in like 5th grade, forever ago. There's actually a much easier way to do it. Now in Windows 10, if you press print screen, it brings up the Windows Snipper, and it's all right. I mean, you can either capture a window, the whole page, or just like a selected thing, but it doesn't really save it. It puts it in your clipboard, and if you copy something without actually like pasting the thing you clipped, it's gone and you have to go do it again. If you press Windows plus print screen, it's actually kind of hard to say. But if you do that, it'll take a picture of your entire desktop. It'll move it to the screenshot folder, inside of your pictures folder, inside of File Explorer. It'll be there in a full image. You can crop it, play around with it, do whatever you want. Maybe one of the downsides to this is if you have multiple monitors, like I do in my setup, it will take a picture of both of them. It'll stitch them together right at the middle. Maybe a downside, maybe not, but I usually have to go in and crop it. But it's a lot better than print screen, go to Paint, paste, save, export, and then use the image. Next is Windows plus the arrow keys, and this is done for Windows snapping. You know that thing that's great here on Windows but sucks on everything else because Microsoft has a patent for it? Yeah, that Windows snapping. Now you can do this with your mouse by dragging your window to the corner of the screen or the side or whatever, but usually what happens is it doesn't really snap to where I want most of the time. It can be very finicky sometimes. With this, all you have to do is press the Windows key and any of the arrows you want, and you can see it starts to snap to wherever you press it. It even works between displays displays. I know I use this a lot to snap it to my center display. When I drag my window to the edge of the display, it tries to put it on the second one, and I don't want that. I want it on the main one. I use this one a ton. Number 7 on the list, one more to go after this, is Windows key plus 1 through 9. And what this will do is it will open the respective icons and programs in your taskbar. So if I do Windows plus 1, in my case, it'll open Chrome. If I do Windows plus 3, in my case, it'll open the Microsoft Store. Windows plus 9, it'll open Discord in my case. This can be whatever you want so long as you have the app that you want to open set to a number between 1 and 9. And finally, last but not least, I figured this one out a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to keep using it because it is awesome. Windows plus K will open up your projector options. Now, you hear projector, you probably think of like the overhead projectors or like school projectors. And well, that's kind of what they're talking about here. It's more of what do you want additional screens to look like. So you can have them as an extended desktop, you can mirror them, or if you have something like this, my Samsung Galaxy Tab S7, you can use it as an additional display. You can mirror your PC onto this tablet and control it with the pen. Now, I use this to project to my tablet. You can use this to project to smart TVs, to wireless displays. You can use it for actual projectors, for multiple monitor setups. It gives you a lot of power in this one little sidebar. Again, this one's pretty new to me. Most of these I've kind of had on my list of keyboard shortcuts for like a year and a half now. But this one in particular I found like 3 weeks ago and I haven't stopped using it since. So guys, there you have it. That is 8 Windows keyboard shortcuts that you probably didn't know and you probably are going to start using now. You guys have any that I missed? If you do, leave them down in the comments. Next week's video is hopefully going to be a huge one. Mark the date. It should be Friday or Saturday. I'll see you guys there.